Xanga does have a rating censorship system. Let's go up here. However, it's known for housing more outlandish, let's say, people, very opinionated, and not as easily filtered. There's a good word. Also, with it being community-based, people are much more fluid, I guess you could say, fluid and free-thinking, and I was looking for strong progressive feminists and political writers. So after I made a few test runs, I was actually on here earlier in a totally alias blog, kind of getting my feel for it before I put up my name. Alright, the citing ratings. Okay. Obviously are normal. Basically, it's the same thing as the American censorship standards. A is for general viewing audience. B, C are probably a little more like PG-13, PG-13. D is probably, what's the next one? Over PG-13, and this is 18 or ever. Back to why I came here. I aim to find very, very, come on, very, very polarized political views. And that is basically what I found. Some of them are feminists, some of them are like Kira. Enjoys taking surveys, and her blog is more survey, statistic, graphs, all that good stuff. Let's see, Lisa writes on politics normally, and she is a published writer. I think she does more fiction creative writing. She's on the main website. Let's go back to the main website. Alright, let's go. Where is she? She's indexed as a reference right here. If you can see that, you probably can't. I didn't actually have a lot of time to talk to her, but she's an interesting woman. Sorry. Okay. So basically, let's see. She was here during the debates, during the presidential election. She was debating a lot with a few of these people. She will hopefully write for me someday. But otherwise, her blog's interesting, so... She's somewhere here. I also asked her, don't worry, I asked her for her permission to cite her blog as an index reference. There we go. Yep. Okay, we're just discussing if she's going to go over to WordPress if Xanga 2.0 doesn't last. Let's go back. Anyway, I would say about 30 of these people, I would say, are all political writers. About even-handed. I know I've only shown you guys for the most part, but in reality it's pretty evenly distributed. Yep. There are a few other people which I will mention. This goes into something else. That are actually not on my Xanga site as friends, but I do contact with. And those are for purposes I've said before, that the magazine and center, well, Future Center, obviously, it's not anywhere near finished. Let's open a new. Is, in fact, partially for 14 to 18 for high school years. So, yes, I would love to talk about human sexuality and gender politics and gender and sexuality. But a few of these people are obviously older and talk about more adult content, and I can't have them on the blog. But that doesn't mean I don't want them to write for me or do something. That just means I've got to censor myself and them. Oof. So I would say roughly from this excursion of a year and a half, a little under a year and a half, I've gained maybe like 20 people. And that's really good enough for me. So that is why I came on to Xanga. Even though Blogspot and WordPress are good sites too for networking, definitely what you find on Xanga is more extreme people, more That's a good word. I'm trying to think of the word. Not obscure. More uncensored. More uncensored ideology, I might want to say. Since this is primarily a social community, blogging network that was made for more to make friends, actually. To make friends and socialize, more like a Facebook. Yeah, of course you can promote off here, as I did, but what you find are more people that are interested in just debate and to talk. Most of them are under aliases or pen names or stage names, if you want to call them, and go under anonymous identifications. Not as many on my site in particular, but again, that's why I only have so many people here. Most of them do like their privacy, and I respect that. I've done that before too. It did make it harder to actually find people that wanted to write for me, obviously. But on the flip side, if I'd gone to Blogspot or WordPress, I wouldn't have found the debatical side of it, I guess. More more willing to show their opinions, I guess you should say. So, and I can develop the level of I guess friendship with some. Some of these people might turn into friends. They might not work for me. They might end up just being friends or social acquaintances. But to build up that level of dialogue with other bloggers, Xanga was actually the best for this. And I obviously needed to build up more solid camaraderie, I guess, especially in politics or feminist theory or something of that nature, to make this magazine work. People mistook it as dating. Was not dating. I'd go into that someday. But that is the reason I went on to Xanga and not another website or blogging network site. Also, of course, I'll give a copy of this tutorial to Xanga team. Don't worry. Don't worry, Xanga team. I'll give you a copy. My purpose of doing this now is obviously I didn't know if it was going to shut down or not. And either way, they are privatizing to paying members only requirements. So I'll probably come back. I'll probably come back at some point when they obviously know what direction they're going, and things level out, and etc., you know. But for right now, it's over on Word or Blogspot. Let's see. People have asked me questions about the Zangan team. I don't try to get in their way, actually. I am not a Zanga employee, and I think they can figure their own stuff out, actually. I just don't find them to be, I don't know, stupid and useless enough to need me. So, well, that sounds funny. I don't think I need to be a part of that. Obviously, I'm not on bad terms, I guess, or they would have closed my blog down. And I do actually, I guess, interact with Mr. Joel over there. So, let's see. But my part was actually just to document this, to have this. I spent a year and a half here. I'd like to, for myself even, record this year and a half. So, and I'm a little interested in seeing what the new 2.0 platform is going to look like. I was surprised at how simple. This is a very simplistic blogging program. That's also, if you haven't noticed, a lot of my ads are older. This is not the actual fan base site that will be for teens and tweens. What this was obviously to find contributors and backers. So, if it looks weird that there's all these, I mean, they're older than me, half of these people are a good bit older than me. What happens is, obviously, people a little bit older are more willing to go by their names, for one thing, and more tenured as far as blogging as a profession or for promotion of themselves. So say, I want to pull out, where am I? I think once you get past 30 or 40, if you are a professional writer and you have a blog, you're much more likely to go by your own name. And that was in part why many of these people are older. Lisa goes by her first name. If you can see that. Also, this system is much more simple than the other blogging sites, even LiveJournal, I think. I've looked into LiveJournal. And so it's a little bit more user-friendly for less computer-savvy people. So I would say there's John. John is one of the advisors. He also does not mind people knowing his full name. He's also a married man with a family, so it matters to you less as you get older. Let's talk about a few of the bigger bloggers, and this is more for a promotion, but we covered Joel Endless, also goes by his real first name. Michael Whalen does too. It's difficult, and I've written some stuff on this before. As far as the blogging mentality goes, a lot of people do it just to really be able to get out their feelings. They don't want people to know who they are. They don't want them to know necessarily where they live. And that's perfectly natural. Using a blog more for therapy, like therapeutic what's it called? Therapeutic train of thought, therapeutic stream of consciousness, where they can get out their feelings, or if they're upset from the day. You know, some people just come on and they want to complain about their day at work, or they have a fight with their spouse and they want to complain about that. They just broke up with someone. I'm trying to... Hold on, let me check. Some of them obviously don't want everyone in the world to know their business. A lot of people come here to ask questions, like, what's her? Where is she? Like, what do I do to get advice from people? Or to find people like them? I think she's under a complete alias. Wait. Let me make sure. Hold on. Before I say more about her. Okay. Okay, she is definitely under a full alias. And she talks about her past, being molested, her field, her job, how her day at work is. And of course, people don't want you to know where they work normally, or to be able to find them, and that's how it should be. Sorry. this has created problems, I guess, a little bit in my real life. And you know what? It's really not the blogger's fault. Or Xanga's fault, or anyone's fault, but obviously I knew what I was getting into, obviously, but people also should be aware that people do go under aliases for multiple reasons, and it's not always to hide something or be lurid. Usually it's just plain they are not they're insecure. Normally it's about they're insecure about themselves and they don't want people to know every little detail about their life either. And they can come on to a blog and I guess be themselves. Of course, for my magazine publication, when I pick people, they obviously have to give me a name. But it seems that there was a issue with or speculation that these people weren't real writers, and obviously they are. You don't have to go by your real name. That to me was silly. I came on here looking for good writers. And frankly, I think that some of these writers are as good as anyone else. They just do it on a blog for fun. Let's see. Commented with him a little bit. He is pretty much gone. And I'm sure if you've read this blog, he's a good example of someone very, very polarized and opinionated. And that's the type of writing I was looking for. Very idealistic. Very, very specific in politics. And very direct. And forthright. And this, I guess, genre or mentality of writing isn't as seen, or yeah, it isn't as seen on blogging sites such as WordPress or Blogspot. People are more censored, it's a bigger site, people know more about it, it's more common. And here they can kind of hide and be themselves and worry less, I guess. The three main reasons are pretty much their jobs, obviously. Who they are in their real lives. Say, some of these people, as I guess you've seen, might be teachers. There's a few teachers on here. Teachers, published writers that come on here just to either exercise their writing skills or find an outlet to practice their cri. Or for teachers, obviously, they're still people with their own lives and their own problems, and they can't post anything on Facebook or or talk about more adult content, so they can come on here and put up an alias, um, and write anonymously, say about their dating life or their sex life or uh, uh, or how much they hate teaching. So there's a lot of reasons. There's also, in the case of Diva Jehovche, she obviously was having a feud with people, and they posted her real contact information and her real name up. One other person, shoot, one of the biggest bloggers here, what's his name, Theologian Cafe, actually did at one point, from what I know, he's been here since, I think, the beginning. He's been here, it must maybe be like 12 years or something. He's been here since 1999, I think. But I think he's actually good friends with the Zenga team. But he's like a married man with children. He did at one point, I think, actually have his legal full name up. And I think even his pictures up and videos up of himself. And someone actually tracked him down and stalked his family. So there's actually, and another one of my bloggers here had his computer program stolen and also stalked and threatened. So sometimes it's not always about them doing something sneaky or leery, I guess. It is actually for their own protection. So when I say I don't want to talk or discuss about one of the bloggers, I know I just talk in their blogger names or their usernames, and there actually is a reason for that. Let's see. Say even with the Theologian Cafe, his content is too old. I did have him on here at one point. He was one of the original 20 Friends ads, and that's also because he was a huge blog, or he is a huge blog. And that was usually what I do when I open blogs, but definitely some of his content is too old, and I didn't see him as a good match for the magazine. But he's probably a nice guy, you know. Obviously, probably if he has kids even. You can see maybe a difference between what Theologian Cafe posts on his or in his entries and what, say, John posts. You know, they're both older than me, and settle down and family orientated. The difference being John here posts PG-13 age level blog entries. And of course, the Theologian Cafe, Dan does not. And also, John doesn't mind his full name out, and Theologian Cafe does. But, you know, obviously, also, there's nothing wrong with having more adult content in it, as long as anyone doesn't get hurt and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, so that's the reason why there's only 71 people right now, for one thing, and why I'm not in my right to divulge people's legal names and where they live and what they do. Let's see. I'm a little tired right now. Sorry about that. Let's see. Let's go back to trying to think. I would say, let me show you some of the bigger bloggers, the Xanga celebrities. Chris is one. He was one of my first 20 friend followers. I don't really comment with him much. He is actually, I'm going to say mid-20s. He's younger. He's actually the age of the magazine. He doesn't really have a problem with people knowing who he is. He's pretty open out there, but his blogs are very entertaining. I'm gonna go on here and just look at them. He profile. He has a few thousand friends. He probably doesn't know I really exist. I guess I've seen him on here a few times, or in my feeder. My recent visitors and feedback. There we go. Let's see. Him. He's more of he's done some videos, I think, of more stand-up comedy. Definitely a guy, but pretty funny. Let's see. talked about Paige before. I don't want to talk about her that much. She doesn't have a problem saying her full name. Oops. What the Zynga team was planning to do, the Zynga 2.0 platform, or new networking program, is based off the WordPress platform. So I guess their plan was to basically archive and download all of our blogs and then transfer them over into the new program. Page has over 1,000 people. Let's go to the front. Of course, Joel has a lot of people. I'm actually one of the smaller